Hello and welcome to Taking You to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. I am your host, JP John Posh from the Two Man Power Trip. And of course, joining me, the star of the show, the former 8 time Smoky Mountain Wrestling Tag Team Champion, 1 time WWE World Tag Team Champion, one of the greatest trainers ever in the history of the business, the Doctor of Desire, Tom Prichard. Tom, how you doing today, sir?
John, couldn't be better today. Snowing here in Knoxville. It's a lovely, lovely time to be here in beautiful winter time.
Nice. Oh, you get snow already, huh? Nice.
Well, yes, we do.
Nice. It was 9 degrees here in New Jersey today. I don't know how cold it was for you, but pretty crazy.
Well, I hate to hear that. So I think we're going to get about 9 degrees tomorrow, but it's going to move
Oh,
up your way, and I think it's going to erase New Jersey. From what I hear tonight, they're going to obliterate Jersey right off the map. That's what
oh
they're
my
saying
God.
on the news tonight. That New Jersey will no longer be there after tonight.
I hope not, but you never know, right? You never know in this crazy
We
world.
hope not. Well, okay. Well, I got you. Okay. Well, that's all I know. I'm just passing along an
Ah,
information so everybody knows to get out of the state quick.
well, big news in New Jersey this week was that Sunny arrested again in Keensburg, New Jersey. She apparently threatened her boyfriend or intimate friend, I think they called him, with scissors and told him he's going to kill him. Interesting life there for Sunny. I don't know if you saw that, heard about that, or read about that.
You know, I I don't know what to say anymore. I really, really don't. It's everywhere you turn, there's chaos, disputes, rumors. Everywhere you go. Poor Tammy. I think I don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think. I feel bad for her at the same time. I don't know what to say, and I really don't know what to think.
She is a mess and a wreck. This is like the 10th time I feel like this has happened or whatever she's been arrested. It's been nothing
Well,
but issues with her. Jeez.
well, it's not going to wind up good from the looks of things. I mean, the
Yep.
way this chapter and the way this book is playing out into the movie, it's not going to be a happy ending for anybody. So, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah, it
about
seems
that.
like she's quite a mess. It was funny the way things were rolling along. Like, oh, maybe she'll turn it around this time. And then, of course, nope, gets arrested. Now she's in jail again. She's facing 3 charges. It just, you're right, it never ends. And it looks like it's heading in a pretty bad direction for her.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where there's some kind of trigger or some kind of mechanism that flips a switch when she's in these predicaments she finds herself in. So, however, and whoever she gets connected with once she gets out of her, you know, 5-star hotel next time, it could, man. I've seen a lot of things through the years where you wonder, do you really want to? Do you really want to? I guess is period. Just it's not about what you want to do in life. It's just whether you really want to do anything or not. I don't know how she's wired anymore. I hope she comes out and finally gets a clue, gets a hint. But I can't lead her life. She can only do that. She can only turn one page at a time, and maybe she likes jail. Maybe she likes being there. There's no problems or no, well, not problems, but there's no worries. You get 3 meals a day. You don't have to pay rent. I mean, you have a lot of
True.
friends around, or you have a lot of people around you anyway. I don't know how she might. They'll probably be friendly. I really, it's something I don't want to necessarily make a whole lot of ridiculous comments on because when it comes down to it, she's gonna die.
Yeah.
Bottom line, there's no exit ramp unless you take it hard and stay off that road. And I don't know because every time she gets out, or the last times she's gotten out, she seems to find a ticket or a way back in. And I've known a lot of people like her through the years, and the ones I knew, with Tammy being the exception, are no longer with us. So she's 49 years old,
Hmm.
and maybe she's tired. I don't know. Tired of living, tired of everything. And I think, because I say that because when you're looking for ways to escape, the next question I have is, what are you escaping from? So I have no clue what to tell you.
Seems like each time we hear about her, it's just on worse and worse. And she obviously was doing like OnlyFans, and she was doing stuff online, try to make some money, but didn't seem like she was being a productive member of society.
Well, John, that begs me to ask the question: what exactly is a productive member of society these days? Because these
Hmm.
days, if you look around,
Hmm.
there's a lot of human beings out there who aren't very productive, except in their chosen endeavors. And to be a productive member of society, do you have to cure cancer, or feed your dog regularly, or help your neighbor? I don't know. I mean, some look. There's people out there who have all kind of issues, and then there's people out there who just don't care. And she could be both. And I hate it. I really do. Man, and I say this with all sincerity. It gives me no joy to see anybody, and I haven't always been like this, and I probably, I could flip flop back and forth too. But it really gives me no joy for anybody, especially in front of society. I mean, it's out there. When she goes to jail, it makes headlines. When she does something stupid, it makes headlines. So I, I don't know what her goals are anymore. I know that I do know something about OnlyFans because I've known people who've done that too.
Right.
And if that's your thing, that's great. I have no problem. I guess I might be called a libertarian. I'm not quite sure. All I know is, if you can live your life without interfering in mine, I'm cool with that. Just
Right.
don't come rob me, and please don't come and make trouble for me, and we'll be fine. So, Tammy, no matter where she goes, whether it's jail or rehab or whatever, supervised living, she's going to have to make some hard choices. And she's going to have to stop making the choices she's been making, obviously. So I don't know what to tell you. I just know my experience in my life and with acquaintances and friends that I know, or knew, let me say it that way. They're not, there's not a good way out of this. Or maybe she's looking to die. Maybe she wants to. Maybe she's asking. And maybe this is her way of asking. Just let me die. Because I don't know if she would have done that I don't know. If she would have done something like that, threatened somebody with a pair of scissors, if she was in her right mind. Don't know.
Right.
I know she'd done some crazy stuff when I was around her, and she wasn't as far gone then, obviously, as she is now. So I don't know. I just, it's hard to talk on something like this because we can all make the judgment, but we don't know what she's dealing with inside or outside or around her life, and I say that knowing that she can be a very nasty person, and she has been in the past. But it comes to time when you just start going, man, the past is the past. We all have one, and it doesn't define you necessarily, but it seems to be defining her right now. And hopefully, because at 49 years old, you have more left behind you than you do ahead of you. And I'm speaking about life. And if you can learn to stop living at, let's say, 50 years old and be happy and sober and be a productive member of society, again, whatever that defines, or however that's defined. It really is up to you. It's up to her. It's up to the person who's doing this stuff. Because it's self-harm. It really is. So, I don't know.
Just seems like, or reading about it, she was definitely under the influence. They didn't say if it was drugs or alcohol or both, but they just kind of said she was
Well,
under
you
the
do
influence.
know alcohol is a drug.
Oh, well, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
So it's all in the same family,
Yeah.
and we all, if there's no one in her life who really cares about her, and there's no one in her life who she cares about, then there's going to be a bigger obstacle for her when she gets out. I think if a lot of us in the business, look, it's show business. It's a tough gig, but a lot of people in life, people not in show business, everyday life, go through things. We have no idea what happens behind closed doors or what circumstances she's dealing with. Not making excuses, stating facts. Nobody knows except her. And then when you start getting a chemical imbalance in you, it's not you anymore. It's the chemicals, and it's the drugs, and it is the alcohol, aka drug. And I'm sure there are some evil people who would stab somebody without having to get drunk or stoned or whatever. But at the same time, who knows where her values are these days. And if she likes going back to jail, or she just doesn't like taking anybody's shit, and that's her way to lash out. Either way, if she continues down the road and doesn't take a hard right to get off on that exit, she's going to go, man, and she's going to crash, and she'll crash hard. And I really don't want to do a podcast about Tammy Sitch dying the next day. So as much as I as a person, I didn't care for the way she treated anybody. At this stage in my life, when I see somebody just completely going off and out of bounds and continually doing this pattern of behavior, then it's I don't know, man. As I've gotten older and as I've gotten around in the last few years, especially, it's insanity. At the same time, this is my insanity. I can understand to a point where someone is so out of control that it's a cry for help in some manner, shape, or form. It is. It's a cry for help. You don't like your life the way it is. Maybe being institutionalized, it gives her the opportunity to not have to think about anything else but existing, getting up, sleeping, eating if you want to, don't eat if you don't. You know, you may get a blanket, you may not, but I don't want to live like that, and I don't know. I can understand if you're looking for a way out, if you're looking for a way to die and have people remember you that way. Some people think that way. I just don't know that. I don't know that's what she's thinking. I just know she needs to get some help quickly.
With her, like when she got into the Hall of Fame, she started looking better. I mean, this is going back several years, but it seemed like, wow, she really got it together. But now, obviously, it was just for that brief moment of time. But it seemed like, wow, she's starting to look better. She's starting to get in better shape. She's in the WWE Hall of Fame. And then once that happened, after that, it was just back down the hill again.
You know, even at the Hall of Fame, and then that's a point of pride she should have, no doubt. But I remember that weekend, and I don't believe I even had the opportunity to say hi to her. She was busy doing. Everybody's busy during that weekend, but especially the Hall of Famers. So when I saw her and I listened to the speech, it's all about Tammy, and it's always been about her. It really has, and it should be. But at the same time, once it's all about you and everybody stops telling you how great you are, and you're getting older, I think especially for a woman who was in her spot, the insecurities and the realization that you're not that cute little 20-year-old anymore, and people can see some of the cracks, not just in your face, but in your personality and in your body language and just the way you treat people overall. I can remember doing signings with her and she being so nasty to people. People just make a comment and she would look up and just be a nasty person to someone who didn't mean anything except they met one of their stars, one of their idols, I guess, and that's the way she handled it. So you would think, yeah, I want to get this better. Yeah, you would think WWE has done all this great stuff for me. Now it's time for me to focus. But yet, she's done what she's done, and once I was around her enough, I realized I really don't want to be around this negativity. I don't want to be around the vibe, and it's a vibe. And anybody who's toxic like that and putting toxic things into the body, it changes you. It does. It just, there's no other way to do it. If you mix oil with water, it's no longer good to drink. So when you mix drugs and alcohol with a human being who has already sobered up, and you put the same crap back in that you had before, it's not going to work right. The engine's not going to run smoothly. And she needs somebody, definitely. She needs someone to help her, a sponsor, somebody who cares about her, and she makes it hard sometimes for people to care about because she has a lot to be happy for, I guess, but at the same time, who does she really have in her life? I don't know. Does she have stable friends? Does she have someone she can talk to and call? Sounded like she did until she decided to want to kill him. I don't know, man. And that's why I really, honest to God, I don't know what to say because people can say things all day long, and they have. But what good does that do? I don't want to do a podcast about her dying. I don't. It's one of those things. I've known her since she was a teenager. I known her since she was in college in Knoxville. And I knew Chris real well. And I knew how the relationship was. And I know the things she did on the side. And how do you tell someone, hey, your girlfriend isn't who you think she is, and she's not what she... I saw Casino today. I was sitting back, and the movie Casino with De Niro in it and Sharon Stone. And I thought immediately of Tammy. You know, she would go off and do her thing and then come back and De Niro would take her back. And it happened continuously. It was a pattern. It wasn't going to change until she just got a hot dose and died. And I hate for that to happen. I really, really would. So I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, they being the authorities. Because in prison, I don't think she's any different. And I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I did read when I heard she got out. I saw a guy interview her, wherever it was, and it was a TMZ clip. And she said, I left a lot of good friends in there. I care about them very much, and I left a lot of good friends, but I'm on my way to a sober house, and I'm looking for my life to be great again. Okay, I get that, but maybe she likes it there. I really don't know. I just know. I keep saying this. I keep repeating myself. What else is new? That she ain't getting any younger, and it doesn't get any easier. So, I mean, once you have that established, that the only way you know how to make yourself feel like you can exist in the world is to travel to another world with alcohol or drugs. And I get that because for a lot of people, in fact, I think everybody's overwhelmed. Everybody gets overwhelmed at times. And whatever it is, whatever triggers inside your head will determine if you're going to reach for the pill, something to smoke, something to drink. Will that make you feel better? It will until you run out, and then, or you have some outside forces pushing back on you. You know, I get along great with my wife, but sometimes we get on each other's nerves. That's how it works. It's life. You have to learn those things. But I don't pull out a pair of scissors and want to stab her.
Right.
I just understand I'm the idiot and I accept it. So Tammy doesn't. I'm not going to speak for her. I wish her the best.
So you mentioned you met her when she was in college. She's a teenager. Was this when she first got signed to Smoky Mountain?
Yep, she came down with Chris. I saw her actually in Memphis too. But when she came down with Chris from New Jersey, she knew she was a cute little girl. She knew because everybody tells her, and she was not lacking confidence. She had been around the matches. She, liked the guys, and Chris was smitten with her, I guess, because she was she was probably the hottest girl in New Jersey at that time, huh?
Probably.
But there's a million of them out there, and we all know that now.
Oh.
Just with age comes learning, experience, and well, she has always been that. She's always been Sunny. And then Cornette gave her the angle because he saw she was a little bitch who knew she was hot. And she just got instant heat because she was confident. She knew. And she got legitimate real heat. And I see girls, I see women like that who come into the wrestling school. I see them at shows, and they all think they are the one. They're the ones that are going to change the business. They're the ones who are going to be the next whoever. But in reality, and looking back on it, and again after doing this for a while, you realize, that going back to that members of society and being a one who can exist in society, it doesn't last. It really doesn't last. You could talk to people about Ric Flair. You could talk to people about Buddy Rogers. But when I bring up Jim Lundis, and nobody yet, very few exceptions, even knows who Jim Lundis was. And that was many, 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 many moons ago, no doubt. But we're not that far removed, and there wasn't that much social media. There was no social media back in the day.
The whole COVID era.
Yeah. So now you have stuff you could look back on and you could see, but it's changing so fast. And the people who are considered stars today, you're here today, gone later today. And same thing with people like Tammy. She was such a star at one time. And then as you get to this point at 49 years old, you realize that was over, 30 years ago? Really? I mean, was it 30?
Yeah.
Because
just about, yeah.
Yeah, so the kids who are 20 now don't have a clue who you are or who you were. And now when they do find out who you were and look at who you are now, it doesn't paint a very nice picture. And that's why I really don't want to just say pile on. I've said she wasn't a nice person in many interviews before. Mm-hmm. I stand by that. But that doesn't mean I want her to go and overdose and then be found. And maybe she wants to. Maybe she thinks that's a glamorous romantic thing to do. But it's not. It's really not. And I think you know that too. I think everybody who's ever experienced a family member or a friend in trouble dealing with alcohol and drugs, it's not anything you want to laugh about. It's not anything you want to. I mean, you joke and you laugh in the times you had your fun. And in the bars and cars and all the things that we did back in the days when it was expected, I guess, and more so just accepted as well. Some of the guys a lot of the guys that I went out with and partied with aren't here anymore. So maybe they thought that was a romantic way out. Maybe she does too. I hope not, but something's got to be done. The bottom line is something has to be done if we expect Tammy to be around much longer. Because the older you get, your heart gets still has to pump the blood, and there could be some damage done. I think we've all done damage one way or another. But going back to jail or prison, because jail and prison are two different things. But obviously, she knows how to exist and survive. She is a survivor. But I don't know what triggers these things or who she's involved with or who she finds as a boyfriend or a romantic interest or whatever it may be. When you have perverts on my, what's it called?
OnlyFans?
Yeah. When you have people like that and they request and stuff and she's obliging for X whatever dollars it is, it's her life, but she won't have one if she keeps doing what she's doing.
When you first saw her in Smoky Mountain, like, what did you think about her? Like, oh, this girl's never going to make it in the business, or like, wow, she's a natural, she's good.
No, and we knew she was a natural heat getter. She was a natural. Those kind of people usually are excellent. Paul Heyman was one of them. Buddy Landell. My God, just people who have that confidence, have that belief in themselves. No matter what anybody else thinks, they don't care. It's all about them. Even the people around them, even the ones that love them and they say they love them back. No, we knew she was going to be very good at her job. Had no idea about when she got called up to WWE. Well, when she got called up the first time, she was exactly what they wanted, exactly what they needed for that time frame, and she fit in perfectly. And then, the way things were back then, it was a jungle, man, and she fit right in the jungle, but she made life miserable for a lot of people too, myself included. I made one trip with her and Chris, and I said no, never again. I will not do it. I won't put myself through that stuff. So, yeah, we thought if she could do this, then she'd be okay. She'd be fine. She'd be a star. But you never know how far somebody's going to do. You knew Austin was going to be a star because he had the look, he had the potential. Nobody could say he was going to be as big a star as he was. Same thing with The Rock, going to be a big star. But it's those kind of people who can be driven, have confidence, or find confidence along the way, and shoot to the moon without destroying their lives, without making headlines about being drunk and trying to kill your partner or trying to do crazy things or driving under the influence, things like that. So, I don't know.
Do you think that she just got like involved in the business, not too much too soon, but like she wasn't ready for all the things that the business entailed, like the drugs, all the extracurricular activities? She's young and maybe a little dumb, and she kind of got wrapped into it.
Well, looking back on it, I because I've seen pictures of her besides Shawn Michaels when she was just a fan,
Yeah.
just wanted to to have a Coke and a smile, Sean.
Yep.
So I don't know. Was she a fan because she loved wrestling? Was she a fan because she loved the guys? Or was she a fan because she'd go there and get attention? I don't know. I mean, she got attention. That's for damn sure. And that's what I say. I don't want to get on and tell a bunch of stories about her, but in Knoxville, again, it reminded me a lot of the Casino movie. With Sharon Stone's character. She just was an out blatant liar and a blatant. It was all about her. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And when she got hooked up with Candido, he was such a nice guy, too nice a guy, and he loved the business. But yet here is this cute little girl showing him attention, kind of like, yeah, she's showing you attention. She wants to get close to do something, and then all of a sudden, when Sean showed her attention, oh my God, he was the top guy. He was a heartbreak kid, and I think those stories are kind of documented too.
Yep.
And in Smoky Mountain, she's never changed, from what I've seen.
It seems like with her, she almost just like gloated about it, like with cheating on Chris and Shawn Michaels. Like it almost seemed like, wow, she almost like had no conscience. Like it's a little different. Like when you cheat on somebody, and you're doing it like remember Ed, we were talking about Edge a while ago and Lita and stuff. Like he kind of turned it into a storyline. Obviously behind the scenes it was much different. She was like behind the scenes gloating, and then like in front of the camera gloating, and then
Yeah.
she goes on shoot interviews and gloated about it. And I
Right.
heard a recent interview, I guess it wasn't so recent, but it was an interview with her saying, oh, Shawn Michaels was the best, and like, oh, what about Chris? Like, oh, Chris was okay, he was just my high school sweetheart and we were in love for 8 years, but I dumped him as soon as I got Shawn Michaels. Like a lot of gloating. I didn't appreciate that, especially kind of bad mouth to Chris, like totally unnecessary.
Well, I didn't appreciate it, but there's a few people who didn't appreciate it. But once again, I think that goes back to the chemicals, and I think it goes back to the ego. It goes back to the confidence. And I don't think you ever think you're gonna. I don't think she ever thought she was gonna age and get older.
Yep.
And I think she probably felt she was going to be a star forever. But I remember quite a few times, more than quite a few actually, and one time in particular in Madison Square Garden. And when this incident happened, I was surprised that she wasn't fired.
Oh, what the hell happened?
I'm not going to talk about it on here.
Oh, okay.
But I will say this: I was surprised, and suddenly, she was back in 2 weeks. So, when you're given that type of special privilege, special treatment, you can get away with anything until you can't. And I don't know what she's thinking. I know WWE is taking care of many rehabs for her. Then she said they didn't pay for one of them or last one or whatever it may be, which is completely not true. I don't know how they're going about it now. I'm not there. I have no firsthand knowledge. But she was brazen in what she did. Because she was untouchable, I believe, and again, that's just my opinion, because of Shawn and because of her acquaintances and things like that. It's nothing that was not known or any different back then. It's just I just thought it was kind of shitty in a lot of ways. But that's the way it was, and things have changed now, and for good reason, because a lot of guys got that attitude and got that treatment, and it didn't wind up so good. So
she's in Smoky Mountain obviously because of Chris. She ends up in WWE with Chris. She ends up with the Body Donnas, aka Skip and Zip. And you said you didn't like traveling with her.
I didn't like doing anything with them. I hated going to the ring with her. I hated doing everything.
Why is that?
Yeah.
They just didn't like her.
I didn't like the attitude. I didn't like the atmosphere. I didn't like the vibe. I didn't like the I can do anything I want and goes. No, I didn't. I still don't, and I'm still not really. It's the worst time I've had in the business. One of the worst times for sure. Can't. I'm not knocking WWE. I was just not where I wanted to be. Did I want to work in the business? Did I want to have a gig? Yeah, I did, and it was offered to me, and I thought I can make this work. It was a nightmare, but that's okay. I mean, it's over. I'm survived. I haven't gone to prison yet, and I don't plan on it. I'm not perfect. I don't know anybody who is. I honest to God, when I say I feel bad for her, I feel bad because she had such talent. She really did. And I don't know, I don't know what the trigger is that keeps being triggered, except, she likes doing things like OnlyFans. She had no problem doing movies and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
but whatever flips your wig, I don't care if I'm not involved. I really don't care. So, but don't be mean and nasty. There's no reason to just be an asshole or a bitch, but that suits her better, I guess. I was at WrestleCade in November. I knew she was there because somebody came over and told me. So, okay, great. I didn't go over, but there was another incident that happened, and the guy who brought me told me about it, and I just looked at him and said, "What did you expect?"
Right.
I mean, what did you expect for her to just say, "Oh yeah, I'd love to do that"? No, 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 no. It's all about her. If it's not centered on her, she wants nothing to do with it. I'm with you. I don't want anything to do with you either. It's good. I'm not wishing you harm or ill will, but I just don't want to have to go over and try to be nice and civil when I know it's all bullshit, and I know you're not being nice and civil because you mean it. You're being nice and civil, but then she wasn't so nice and civil with a few people. So there. And
Yeah.
I won't talk about that either.
It's funny, like sometimes people have reached like the pinnacle, their high water mark. It's like, okay, they either kind of maintain themselves, maybe continue to be a legend, but it was almost like her becoming like the most downloaded girl and getting all that recognition definitely like just completely led to a downfall, and you could totally tell on screen and off screen. There was something a little off. Like, remember that one time she flashed the camera of her butt just for like absolutely no reason, didn't make sense. She would just do off the wall stuff, and it was like, wow. The more you fed into her ego and the more you gave to her, it was like the more she kind of imploded. It just seemed like success really got to her head.
Well, when we're born, we can't choose where we're at. We can't choose, what time to be born or anything like that, what era. But when you're born, I think those first formative years play a huge, huge part in shaping who you are. That's, again, I'm not a clinical doctor, although I played one on TV. I think she had been told how beautiful she was her whole life by her dad and probably her mom. I don't know. I know her dad passed away when she was young. So she fended for herself for a while, and she was a survivor. She was a survivor. So all the things that happened to her, either she wanted the spotlight, craved the spotlight, or had the spotlight thrust upon her by everybody. She was probably one of those. I'm not going to say that either. But as you get older, and then you get in your prime, you get in your 20s, and you're so cute and you're so beautiful, and everybody tells you that every day and all the time, and you're on TV and you're recognized, and all of a sudden it stops, and all of a sudden you're making headlines for all the wrong reasons, and all of a sudden you're going to rehab and then jail and then prison. They always says it's rehab, jail, and death, and that's those are the steps. Once you start doing drugs and you start abusing and you start getting way off track, somebody will step in, maybe throw
Hopefully.
you in, yeah, throw you in rehab. You get out, you're going to do so good, so good, so good, and then you fall because that's part of recovery. You fall, you go again. Yeah, I'm going to do so good. You get the pink cloud. You're so great. You're so enthusiastic because, man, I got all these new friends. I got all these things, and you fall again. Some people, yeah, it takes 5, 6 times to catch. Some people, it never catches, and she hasn't caught on yet. So that's all. I mean, you start as a baby, and whatever people tell you or do to you or abuse you or misuse you or are helpful to you and encourage you and give you something to look forward to, I think that really does shape us as we get older. I well, I think about things from my past daily. I think about things the way they started out and the way they ended up from childhood. And I asked myself, is this the reason why I did the unthinkable? Or is this the reason? Or is it just the way it's supposed to happen? And I've come to the conclusion this is just the way it's supposed to happen. This is life. And we're given opportunities and things are put in our path to either pick up or throw away. And some of the stuff we need to throw away, a lot of stuff that's put in front of you, especially when you're a cute little girl, most downloaded celebrity in AOL, and everybody's trying to buy you a drink, get high with you, let's go and have a good time, whatever. And he's the biggest star on WWE at that time, and he's really into you, and he's telling you all this stuff, and he's just rocking your world. And then suddenly it stops. And then you have to go and figure out, what is it really about you? What redeeming qualities is it about you? Because beauty is really only skin deep, and it's certainly temporary. So you better be nice and beautiful inside, because that will radiate as well. Just as if you're a mean, nasty person on the inside, it will radiate that as well. And I think the uglier you are on the inside, the uglier you're going to be on the outside. Mm-hmm. So we all want to have the great looking girl and the hot chick and all that great stuff, and that's cool for a while. And it really is. It's great, man. I've had a fun time. And then you get to look at him and go, oh my God, you're not that special. You're really, really not, because you age. And some people age gracefully, and some people age not so gracefully. And then the personality gets nastier as it goes down the line, too, because you're pissed at the world that has changed, and you're pissed at the people around it and who are in it. So the thing with Tammy Sitch is whatever happened in her life has led to this. And I think, again, it started early on. Growing up with just your mom. I don't think her mom ever got remarried either. They always had a nice house in Jersey by the beach and stuff like that. And Chris's family was a very nice family too. But somewhere along the line, there's a wrinkle in the fabric that just made her who she was. And nobody can, we can only do what we want to do for ourselves. If you don't want to get straight and you don't want to get sober, you're not going to. I mean, if you can't live any other way, they give you the tools. People will give you the tools if you go to the right place. But then it's up to you to use them. They can't force you unless you're institutionalized, and they can force you to do whatever they want, or you can walk away. So I hope this time, I really do, and I will repeat it until I die, or God forbid she does. But I really hope it does click this time.
She's gotten so many chances, if you think about it. Like, okay, she was in Smoky Mountain, WWF, WCW, ECW, like everywhere. Back in WWE a bunch of times, the Hall of Fame. Seems like she gets chance after chance after chance. Then you see she gets arrested. She's out of jail. they book her for autograph signings. They do this. She gets in the porn industry. They book her for signings again. Like she always kind of had people not bailing her out, but it was always people that were like, okay, we'll give her another chance, another chance, another chance, and she keeps blowing it. It's almost like we got to stop giving her so many chances.
Well, yes, but they're not. They're going to keep giving her chances because that's the way the business works, and that's the way the business world, and that's the way the entertainment people are. And there's ghouls everywhere. I'm not saying everybody who books her's a ghoul. I'm not saying that at all. But there's a lot of stories out there about Tammy that aren't very flattering, and but it's because people do want to see her, I guess, because they came out to the sessions. She signed a
Yeah.
lot of pictures,
Yep.
signed a lot of stuff. So, as a businessman, why wouldn't you take advantage of it? I totally understand that part of it. But as an enabler, you're only adding to the fire. I think you're adding to the problems, and not that it's anybody else's fault, because Tammy has to take responsibility for her and her actions. That's all. I mean, it's not as melodramatic as I make it or somebody else or whoever makes it out to be. It's pretty much just a question of what is causing these relapses and what is the issue that she really needs to either resolve before she does die, and can she resolve it enough to enjoy at least her 50s and chill out, enjoy her celebrity, and be a nice person. But if you go 49 years being who you are, what's to make you change now? It's worked for you so far. You get in jail, you get out, you come in, they'll pay you for autographs, and they'll pay you for the OnlyFans and whatever else you do. It's why worry about anything? It's worked for you so far.
Right.
You're going to die one day. Why not just keep it up until you do, I guess? That's the way it seems. But
It's funny
just
with
my
her,
opinion.
like her legacy was almost like, okay, she got a few chances, but she's like the original diva. She was a great heel. She was always great as far as the crowd really liked her in obviously more ways than one, but like they were always paying attention to her. Even when she's out there with like Kai and Ty or being like the announcer, all eyes were on her. I mean, she had a lot of focus on her. She had charisma. People were into her. She was very entertaining. But then, obviously it's like, okay, then all the bad stuff comes in, then the drugs and the alcohol and the arrest and the threatened and murdering somebody. It was like, wow, you had almost like a great legacy. People would have remembered you fondly. Even if you fell and then got back up, you could have had that rehab, that invigoration of your career. But then you fell down again and again and again. So it's like, man, it's hard to rebuild the legacy after all of this.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, Keith Richards built a legacy on being Keith Richards, and she's got many Richards merit badges.
Yeah.
So but Keith was kept his legacy alive because he had people around him too who helped and still help manage someone like that. She's nowhere near as famous as the Rolling Stones in any stretch of the imagination, but people still know who she was. And now people are getting to see who she is. And that's something I guess she's fine with, or I don't know. I can't. Well, again, I can't speak for her. But when you have all this stuff in your body, in your system, you don't know any other way to feel. You don't know any other way to speak. You don't know any other way to act, or to do what you do in everyday life. When you wake up, if you got to start your day with whatever it is, and you take 2 or 6 of those in the morning, and you start your day, and that starts wearing off about noon or 1 o'clock, depending on what time you get up, you want more. And you don't want to face the day any other way. You don't want to face people any other way except behind the cloud of a soma, barbiturate, whatever it may be, pot, drinking, heroin, whatever it is, the DOC, man, it's if that's the only thing you know after 30 years, it's going to take a huge monumental effort, I think, or a monumental epiphany to say, hey, if you tried living life clearer and wipe away the fog, it'll be better. It's hard to convince somebody of that because it was non-feeling before. You don't want to feel the emotions. You don't want to feel the hurt. You don't want to feel the anger. You don't want to feel the pain. Hell, you don't even want to feel the joy. You don't want to feel anything. And suddenly somebody shoots you into a can, and you're locked in there with how many ever people like you. There's how do you convince someone it's better? You don't know, because when you get off that euphoric feeling of now I don't need drugs and now I don't have to depend on all this stuff, and certainly you go out the first week or month or whatever, even 6 months of being so proud of yourself for doing it, and then you have a bad day or you have a bad week. And you fight it, and you stop going to those meetings because those people are annoying. They're arrogant. They try to tell you what you should do, what you got to do, and all this stuff. And you say, you know what? I know what I should do. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. And then you sneak away, and it's done. And you get away from it. So, pardon me. That's a pattern it seems she's done for a while. And anybody who's been through it knows it's not easy. It's certainly not easy. But there's no easy road. That's why you need a support group. You need people who will support you. If you have friends, true friends, they can help you unless they're just like you. And all they do is enable you and help you get what you need to stop feeling the pain, to stop feeling the boredom, to stop feeling anything. Just no emotion, no feeling at all. Just take me out of this world so I don't have to listen to this guy's crap, that girl's crap, or anybody's crap. Because I think everybody who starts out doing something might start out doing it for fun. And then all of a sudden you learn to live that way. And it's not fun. It's still fun, but it's also existing in that fog, existing in that manner. And you're down there in a ditch in a fog, and everybody else is living on higher ground while you're really down here getting high, but you're really lower. And there's no way to, nobody's going to throw you a rope unless they really care about you. And there has to be something redeeming about you. Maybe she doesn't have family out there who cares about her. I know there's a lot of people she's pissed off as far as family goes through the years. But that's what you do when you're on that stuff, man. And that's what you do when you're in that vibe, in that style, the lifestyle. So, dude, I get so depressed every time I talk about her. Every time I even hear this shit.
Yeah,
every
what's
time
up
I
with that?
see
Yeah.
it. No. Every time I see it, as much as I really didn't like her and didn't care for her as a human being in my times around her, I get so goddamn depressed. I hate to see it because I can't, and I can't explain why, because I know she was such a horrible person. And then I had to look back, and this is a lot of introspective on me. I had to look back on some of the things she must have gone through. I don't know. Well, I do know, but at the same time, I wasn't the one who was feeling it. I wasn't the one it was directed to. It was her. I'm not excusing it, but trying to explain it in my head. What caused all this? And then I look at it, it's like, man, she gets out, and then she goes right back in. She can't help herself. You know, there's some unfortunate souls who just can't help themselves. There's some who are destined for their journey to end on their terms. So I really don't know what else to say except I don't want to do another podcast about her dying. I just don't. Not right now. Anyway.
Now, as we head towards the finisher, before we do the plugs, I was just curious. Did you see that MLW was suing WWE, a part of this antitrust lawsuit? Did that, or
I
did you
did.
read that?
I did.
Came across a little crazy to me, but what did you think?
Well, have you ever been to MLW?
Oh yeah, bunch.
A live show.
Yeah, a few times.
So you know Court, you know MSL.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Conan, all those guys. Oh yeah.
I love Conan. And I love Savio. I love. There's a couple people there who I knew. I'd never met Court before until I went. Nice guy. MSL seems like a nice guy. And they drew some good houses, but
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get. I don't get how they go about getting these TV clearances or getting these licenses or contracts. I really don't get it. And they have some great talent. I think Fatu, man, is incredible.
He's
Jacob
awesome.
Fatu is an incredible talent. Hammerstone,
Yeah,
great talent.
like him too. Yep.
Yeah, and the Von Erich boys have potential. They just need to get experience. So when when I read about this, it's another one of those things where I just go, I don't get where you're coming from. I really don't understand that because WWE, no doubt, does their thing the way they do it, and they're going to block anybody who's going to take anything away from them. I understand that, and I think that's part of being in business. But no, from the things that I've been around with those guys, great guys, got some really nice talent. But the way it's done is just so foreign to me. I wasn't quite sure how the operation. I'm not sure how the operation worked. And I was sitting there doing a match, and I have a stopwatch, but I didn't have it with me because I'm expecting to hear from the truck, and nobody's giving me times. And I said, "Who's giving the times here?" And he said, "You are." Well, okay.
Oh, wow.
Well, great. I wish I'd known because I thought everybody was on track, and I got with my guys and explained to them. But I wasn't a very good agent for them. I wasn't a very good fit, I don't think. And so I just read it and I go, well, yeah, they're going to stop you if they can because that's what they do. So sue all you want, but I don't have any strategies for them, but yeah, I kind of saw it and I went, all right, good luck.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and I was just waiting to see what McDivitt was going to say, because like somebody was going to get a quote from. I think it was Wrestling Inc. got a quote from him. I was dying laughing because he's like, they should sue Fox or Tubi or whatever, not us. Has nothing to do with us. He's like, but I also saw that they only did 40,000 viewers, and it was drastically less than the lead-in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah.
I don't understand where the justification really comes in for this because they were on the BSN Sports Network.
Or BN Sports. Yeah.
BN, whatever it is, a B something. And I would see the shows, and the shows were good, were fine. And like I said, they have talent there. But there's got to be more to it than... Anyway, I don't take me down that rabbit hole right now. But it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, I don't see them winning, and I don't see that going anywhere at all.
No, I don't. Maybe they'll get a TV contract. Maybe they'll get something a little more.
Hey, gets their name out there in the news. We're talking.
It does. It does, and that could be the object too. I mean, more power to him. Kurt Bowers seems like a really nice guy, great guy. But
yeah.
And let me say it like this. But ... And that's for all you millennials out there.
Yes.
If any millennials listen to this, if anybody listens to this,
Some of your
dot
students.
dot. Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about your book, A Pro Wrestling Curriculum Advice, Suggestions, and Stories to Help the Aspiring Pro Get to the Next Level. Dr. Tom, where can I get the book?
Well, the simplest way to do it is go to jpwrestlingacademy.com, front page, click the book, get the book.
Nice. You can also go to Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com. Go to the Dr. Tom store or go to the JPWA store. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at 2Man Power Trip. Check out the website tmptempire.com. And of course, follow Dr. Tom on Twitter at Dr. Tom Prichard. Dr. Tom, what else you got going on?
I'll be. I was going to say I'll be at the gates of hell this evening, but that's not nice to say tonight either. Okay, no, man, I just have a lot going on, but I think if you really want to find it, you'll find it. So I'm just going to leave it as a treasure trove of curiosity, what I have going on, and see if you got it.
Yes.
How's that?
Check out KNS WrestleFest on Facebook. How about that?
That's a great. That's next Sunday.
Yeah, you and Jimmy
that's
Goldberg.
next Sunday. That's true. You see? Yeah, I actually have my book right here, but I'm leaving it right there. How's that?
Nice. Thank you, everybody out there, for listening. We'll see you right back here next week for a little Take It to School with Dr. Tom Prichard. See you next week, folks.